February 7th, 2025. This is a demo on the Mag particle machine. So first of all, I'm going to walk you around, let you see the Mag particle machine, and we're going to have Staff Sergeant Fraticelli go ahead and demo the Mag particle process. All right. So here's the Mag particle machine already set up. So at this point, we're going to start off with Staff Sergeant Fraticelli, and he's going to walk us through the steps for magnetization.
Alright, so the first step of mag particle inspection is part preparation, which means we have to pre-clean the part. It's very important to do this step because we don't want to contaminate our vehicle inside of the mag particle unit. Our TO tells us that all dirt, oils, and grease shall be removed and wiped down with an approved solvent. So what I have here, I have some alcohol, and I have my lint-free cloth. And I'm going to go ahead and start my pre-cleaning of my part. When you're pre-cleaning, you want to make sure that you pay extra attention to the contact points where the part is going to meet the contact pads on your mag particle unit. This will prevent arcing of the unit and potentially damaging your part. What I like to do, I like to go ahead and grab my black light and check to make sure that I got all of those greases and particles from prior inspections off of my part before I start doing my inspection. This one looks pretty good to go. I'm going to go ahead and let that solvent dry for a little bit while I move on to the next step. So in my TO, it tells me on solid parts we're going to be using alternating current while doing circular magnetism and longitudinal magnetism. So for direct contact circular magnetism, it says for parts with more than one current level required for circular magnetism, amperage shall be applied lowest to highest. So the next step says clear the magnetic particle unit bench area of any obstruction or debris. So we're good there. Next, it says place the central bar conductor or CBC between the headstock and the tailstock. Lock down the tailstock. I have my CBC. I'm going to go ahead and perform that step. Next step says to pour or spray the bath vehicle where the bar and contact pads meet. Completely saturating the area is not necessary. Next, we're going to fully depress the foot switch to clamp the CBC firmly in place. Next, it says select the type of current, AC or DC. Like I said before, we're going to be using alternating current because we're inspecting a solid part. Some units will have an energized master switch that needs to be pulled to the on position. Go ahead and select AC, alternating current, on my control panel, and then turn on that energized master switch. The next steps say to set the amperage to the approximate setting required for the test part. Initiate the contact shot. Note the amperage indicated on the ammeter. Adjust the amperage control to achieve the required output. So again, on my control panel, going to go ahead and adjust my amperage until I get it to 500. So once I get my amperage where I need it to be, it says to initiate the contact shot again and verify the amperage indicated on the ammeter meets the setting requirements. Send the shot through again. Next, I'm going to fully depress the foot switch to release the CBC and then remove the CBC. Next, we're going to place the part to be inspected between the stocks. Adjust the tail stock to accommodate the test part. Lock down the tail stock. I'm going to go back and grab my part. It should be fully dry now. But you always want to verify to make sure so that we do not contaminate our vehicle. Next, we're going to pour or spray the bath vehicle where the part and contact pads meet. Completely saturating the area is not necessary. Fully depress the foot switch to clamp the part firmly in place. Check the equipment settings to ensure correct configuration. So I'm going to go ahead and check my settings. On my control panel, we're going to be on contact. Since we're doing circular magnetism, we're going to put it on mag, alternating current, so we know that our amperage is correct. Next, we're going to circularly magnetize the part using the wet continuous method. Now, when doing the wet continuous method, you want to make sure that you're applying the particles as you're energizing your mag particle unit. So we're going to apply the particles, then we're going to magnetize. Next, it says we're going to inspect and evaluate indications under the UVA. It says repeat steps C through step P if different amperages are required. This does not require different amperages, so we do not have to do that. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the light. As you can see here, you can see some indications on our test part. Now, anytime you circularly magnetize the part, you need to also longitudinally magnetize the part. The reason is because with circular magnetism, the discontinuities are going to be perpendicular to the magnetic field. So right now, we have a circular magnetic field going around my part, so all of my discontinuities should be perpendicular. With longitudinal magnetism, we should be able to pick up the discontinuities that go in the opposite direction. We'll move on to longitudinal magnetization with the coil. Just for parts with more than one current level required amperage shall be applied lowest to highest. It says clear the magnetic particle unit bench of any obstruction or debris. It says unlock and roll back the tailstock. Lock the tailstock down when it has cleared the area needed to perform the inspection. Just unlock and position the coil so that the inspector has easy access to both sides of the coil and has room to position the test part as required. Lock down the coil. Next, it says set the appropriate type of current. Some units have an energized master switch that needs to be pulled out to the on position. So again, we're going to be using alternating current. We're going to keep it on alternating current. We're going to make sure that our energized master switch is on. Next, we're going to adjust the magnetic inspection unit to the required amperage. This adjustment is made with the coil empty. Energize the unit to ensure correct amperage setting. So since I started off with 500 amps, I'm going to need to use a higher amperage so that those domains reorientate to the direction that I need them to. So I'm going to go ahead and select contact, coil, mag, alternating current. I'm going to go up to about 1,000 amps. Next, we're going to place the part on the bottom of the coil. It says part shall be magnetized and inspected in length increments equivalent to the diameter of the coil, not to exceed 18 inches. A 3-inch overlap in coverage is required. It says process the part using the wet continuous method. Inspect and evaluate the inspection under the UVA lamp. So again, we're going to be doing the wet continuous method. So we're going to be applying the particles as we energize the part. We can go ahead and inspect, see what we got. Alright, so the next step, we're going to demagnetize our part. It's very important to demagnetize the part before